Hello, my name is Ashley Dillon, and today I will be showing you how I created lighting and 3D effects on 2D images using Adobe After Effects. I used Z-Space in Adobe After Effects to make an animated intro for my Zenith project, which you just saw. So that looks like this in After Effects. Yep. So basically I made each of those little images in Procreate and then I exported them as 2D images to After Effects. And now in After Effects I was able to make them all look 3D. So I'm going to show you an example of how I did that here actually. This is good. So working in Z-Space, I'm going to show you an example of how I did that using a solid layer. So first thing I have to do is make some room. I am going to change the duration to 27. And then I'm going to put in some new solid layers for us to work with. Okay, so here's my first solid layer, and I'm going to put in another solid layer of a different color, because the two main things that I did in After Effects was I animated movement using keyframes and the Z-axis, which is added in 3D space to 2D objects, in addition to, X and Y. And then the other thing I did was I put in light sources and used them to cast shadows. So here we go. Start with this one off. Just start with my red solid here. So the first thing that you need to do to turn a 2D object into a 3D one is click this little cube here, and that will automatically give it 3D properties. So the first thing that I need to make sure of is that camera 1, this is the camera that is, recording. So I need to make sure red solid is in view of that camera. It's not. Why is that? That's because the point of interest, where the camera is looking, is different from the current position in the Z-axis specifically of red solid number 1. So I am going to put this, let's say 40. All right, there it is. So now we see it. Now, how would I animate this in 3D space? So I'm just going to animate position for now because I didn't really use rotation a lot. You can animate rotation as well because it'll move like that. But let's just start with position. All right, so I'm going to start with it here where it is. And then I am going to have it move forward a little bit. Now this looks on screen like it's scaling, right? But actually, if I look at, and I'm switching between these different views, these aren't cameras, camera 1 is the only camera I've got. These are all just views to help you figure out where the objects you're moving are in 3D space. Alright, so I have these two keyframes here, and as you can see, it is moving forward in 3D space, forward. So that is a little animation I just made. Boom. Alright, now I want to add a light source and shadows. So I'm going to turn on my second one here. I'm going to go to camera 1 And this one also needs to be a 3D object, so there we go. And then I'm gonna put that a little bit in front of my other object. This one I think I want to scale down. Make it a little bit smaller. All right, there's that. And if I look at my 3D space again, it's pretty close. So I'm gonna move it a little more in front. Here we go. And if I look back at camera 1, that's still big. Make it a little smaller again. Boom. Okay. Now, before I add a light source, I need to make sure that these objects can cast and accept shadows. So the red one is the one that needs to be able to get the shadows that are being made by the blue one. So I'm gonna go to material options and I see cast shadows is off, that's okay. Accept shadows is on, that's great. Now the blue one needs to be able to cast shadows. So if I go to material options, cast shadows is off. Oh no, I turned that on. So now they should be able to accept a light source. What just happened with this? I don't know. Oh, there we go. I double clicked. Uh oh. Here we go. Now I'm going to add in my light source. I'm gonna go layer, new, light. And for my project, I used only point or spotlights. There are other options, but I'm gonna go with spotlight for now. All right, here we go, our spotlight. Where is that in 3D space? Okay, so it's a little bit far. I think what I want is I want this point here, the point of interest, to be on my, on my cyan layer. So what I'm gonna do, because I want that to be like, you know, the point that the camera revolves around. All right, spotlight, I'm going to look at transform. Transform, point of interest. So this I want to be at probably 450, a little bit past. Okay. Cone angle does not need to be very large because I want to actually see the effect of my spotlight on the thing. So I'm going to go to camera 1. This is what is being recorded. And I'm gonna make my cone angle smaller. So there we go. I can see now this. Nice. Okay. And cool. So in addition to being able to animate layers like this red one that we've got going on, another thing you can do is you can animate cameras or lights. So I'm gonna show you an example of that with the light. Something that's different about these is because they have those points of interest, something you can do is if you set the point of interest and then you start transforming the camera or light, it'll just transform around that point of interest, which is nice. So if I want to set, let's say, my position over here for now. Boom. All right, let's start there. And then as the red one gets larger, what's gonna happen is the light is gonna go the other way. Wow. Cool. And then, because why not, I'm going to also move the point of interest off the screen so it ends in black. It's more dramatic like that. All right. That should be all the way off now. Okay. Let's see. Oh. All right. I forgot to set a keyframe for that, but that should be pretty easily fixable. Okay, if I go here, up there. Yeah. All right. I think it should be good now. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, and one last thing. I'm going to make these Bezier. I think that's right. Bezier keyframes so that they are a little bit smoother. Okay. Here we go. Let's see what that animation looks like. Okay. So obviously not very refined, but you can see the main two techniques that I used in making my project, which are basically we've got the red one moving forward in space there, and then we've got the spotlight camera animating and casting shadows on the object. So that's the gist of what I learned about After Effects 3D Space. I hope it was helpful. Thank you for watching.